Now at 10, one of 3 suspects in a Lamar, Missouri murder changes his plea. Plus, why a 4-state recruiter says this is one of the best times to find a job. And a switch in parties and a challenge. I'm going to tell you why Oklahoma Superintendent Joy Hoffmeister says she's running against Governor Kevin Stitt.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
One of 3 suspects in a Barton County, Missouri murder pleads guilty. This is KOAM News at 10. Lane Bronson today pleaded guilty for his role in the 2020 murder of Terry Harless in Lamar. 2 other suspects in the case are charged with second-degree murder. Investigators say the men are responsible for the shooting death of Harless. The 3 suspects are also charged in connection with an Oklahoma murder case. You can read more about that on our website. That's KOAMNewsNow.com. Well, it's going to be an enjoyable, warm evening. Doug Hetty joins us now.
It is. It looks pretty good across the region as of right now. We have pretty much clear skies, and that's what we're going to see as we go through the rest of the evening. I can't do the weather without my clicker, so I had to come back and get it. But it looks like we'll see a pretty good evening. The biggest story that we have is the heat is really going to kick back in as we go into the next couple days. It's a little return of summer across the region, but nothing going on. No storm systems over the next 2 or 3 days, but then it gets really active by the second half of the weekend. All right, mid-60s right now. I think we'll drop back lower 60s later on tonight. The southerly winds will start to increase a bit as we go into the next couple days, and that's just going to help us really warm up as we go into Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We'll drop back to about 62, but look at this, 85 by noon. High temp at 90 for us tomorrow afternoon. We're going to look at our next storm system, which could give us some strong to severe thunderstorms, all coming up here in just a bit.
All right, Mr. Hetty, thank you as always. A 4-state job recruiter says this is one of the best times ever to land a decent paying job. The team at Joplin's Express Employment Professional says people who are willing to work hold all the cards right now. The employment agency's business development representative says several companies they work with had pay rates around $11 an hour pre-pandemic, but as of now, general labor in the 4-state area is paying closer to $14 an hour, and those who want to work are getting scooped up quickly. That's been the case at Galena's Oasis Car Wash Systems, where they've kept pay competitive to fill their assembly jobs.
Perfect opportunity for them to come in, especially the young ones, and learn a trade. And the pay is right now is probably some of the best I've ever seen.
Both Oasis Car Wash Systems and Express Employment Professionals say they saw more people looking for work after Missouri opted out of the federal COVID-19 unemployment benefits, but that hasn't cooled off the red-hot job market. Freeman Health System in Joplin hosts a hiring fair today looking to gain some new employees. Officials were offering interviews for full-time and part-time positions. Some of those positions were clinical, like medical assistants, nurses, and physical therapists. And some were non-clinical, admissions, receptionists, and housekeepers.
We have anything ranging from a pharmacy technician, admissions, patient accounts, PRC, which is our physician reimbursement billing. We have nutrition positions. We have a full gamut of positions that run the full length of Freeman, again, clinical and non-clinical.
Entry-level positions at Freeman start at $15 an hour. Dyslexia makes it harder for millions of people to read and write. Well, during the month of October, Pitt State's Center for Research, Evaluation, and Awareness of Dyslexia, or reading, is raising awareness of the learning disorder. The center plans to do giveaways and a fundraising and awareness drive primarily through social media.
So if someone's struggling, or if you think your kid is struggling, or you've been struggling with reading, just knowing that there's help available. We can help you identify specifically what's going on, whether it's some subskill of phonological processing, whether it's letter sound correspondences. We can pinpoint that.
The center's giveaways will include books and full evaluations. Well, the head of Oklahoma Public Schools is going to switch parties and run as a Democrat to challenge Republican Governor Kevin Stitt for governor next year. Oklahoma State Superintendent Joy Hoffmeister made the announcement today. She accused Governor Stitt of, quote, running our state into the ground. Hoffmeister is a former school teacher and was elected back in 2014. She was re-elected in 2018 and oversaw Oklahoma schools during a tumultuous time that included massive protests and walkouts over teacher pay and school funding. She can't run for the post again because of term limits. Now, Stitt is running for his second term as Oklahoma governor. A spokesperson for Stitt's re-election campaign says the governor has worked to boost public education funding and raise teacher pay while lowering taxes. Leaders of the 4 Roman Catholic dioceses in Missouri are urging state leaders to end the use of the death penalty. This is after a convicted killer of 3 was executed despite a request for clemency from the Pope. Ernest Johnson was executed Tuesday evening, the first Missouri execution in 16 months and the 7th in the U.S. as a whole this year. Johnson killed 3 people in Colombia back in 1994. Now, yesterday, a statement signed by St. Louis Archbishop Mitchell Rosinski, Kansas City St. Joseph Bishop James Johnston Jr., Jefferson City Bishop Sean McKnight, and Springfield Cape Girardeau Bishop Edward Rice expressed disappointment with the decision to allow Johnston's execution. Kansas Department of Wildlife and Parks is now offering a fully online hunter education course. This is the first time the course has been offered fully online. The 4-module course is available to everyone 16 years and older and can be completed at your own pace. Traditional in-person courses will still be offered, just in case if you're wondering. A Kansas Hunter Education Certificate allows you to purchase hunting licenses and permits and hunt without direct supervision of a licensed adult. Still ahead, online marketplaces like Etsy will soon have to report sales to the IRS. Going to hear how folks in the 4 states could be impacted. And the White House rolls out new information on requirements to encourage more Americans to get vaccinated. Starting next January, anyone selling more than $600 worth of goods through services like eBay and Etsy will need to fill out a form to the IRS. KOM's Bronte Sorotsky spoke with a Joplin tax expert who explains what this means for local online business owners.
For anyone that uses websites like eBay, Etsy, or Facebook Marketplace, you may need to start filling out a new form to the IRS if you haven't already.
When you're in business to sell things online, you need to be filing the proper tax documents to show your income and all your expenses that your business has incurred.
That document is a 1099-K form, although it's nothing new.
We've seen 1099-Ks for years, but what it is it reports whenever somebody's using online sales. We'll get a 1099-K reporting the income or reporting their sales to assure that they are reporting them on their income tax return.
What is new, though, is the prerequisite for those who need to fill one out.
I think they're doing a lot more requirements maybe now as they did in the past, as far as filling out the proper W-9 forms and things like that. So they're just realizing it, or maybe their sales weren't to the point that they were required to get one, which is $600.
Tax experts emphasize that for those with an online business, keeping track of your money is extremely important.
You need to be filing the proper tax documents to show your income and all your expenses that your business has incurred.
They also remind these online business owners that the IRS cracking down on these sellers is actually to their benefit.
To assist these small businesses, and because sometimes people's accounting methods aren't quite, they haven't learned properly how to keep track of their income and their expenses. So a lot of times people say, oh, I got this 1099-K. Well, yeah, there's your sales.
In the end, these forms help smaller businesses stay on top of their sales. In Joplin, Bronte Sorotsky, KOAM News.
Joplin tax experts are already taking calls regarding news about the form and say the responsibility of sending out these forms falls on the companies the sellers use rather than the seller themselves. Change is the subject of tonight's KOAM News Now Insta Poll question. Will the new tax rule affect whether you sell products online? You can participate in the poll over at KOAMNewsNow.com/vote or through the KOAM News Now mobile app. Results are updated live, and we'll check in on the numbers here in a bit. President Biden took his vaccine push on the road heading to Illinois. His trip comes as Pfizer applies for emergency use authorization for its vaccine for children. Skylar Henry reports on the day's developments from Washington.
CBS News has learned the CDC's advisory panel will meet the week of November 1st to consider whether to recommend Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccine for use in younger children. Pfizer and BioNTech have asked the FDA for emergency use authorization of a mini dose for kids ages 5 to 11.
I think that while the vast majority of children can tolerate the infection and do well, we also know that sometimes we're not able to predict well who will suffer severe consequences.
The coronavirus pandemic has also brought extensive loss to children. A new study in the journal Pediatrics finds COVID-19 caused more than 140,000 U.S. children to lose a parent or grandparent caregiver over the past 15 months. That amounts to 1 in every 515 children. President Biden is back in Washington after a trip to a construction site in Elk Grove Village, Illinois, that's pushed to get more employees vaccinated.
You're helping us beat back COVID-19.
He says his vaccine mandate for larger businesses is coming soon.
Look, I know the vaccination requirements are a tough medicine. Unpopular with some, politics for others, but they're life-saving.
The president says corporate vaccine mandates are one of the reasons why new COVID cases and hospitalizations are decreasing. 67 million Americans are still unvaccinated. Skylar Henry, CBS News, Washington.
Around 78% of adults here in the U.S. have gotten at least one vaccine dose. The game streaming service Twitch says it experienced a major data breach. In a tweet, the company says it's still working to figure out just the extent of this problem. Twitch pays streamers for their games, and some Twitter users say the leaked information accurately shows how much they receive. Amazon owns Twitch, and the platform has tens of millions of users. Later, Joplin's history comes alive in a spooky performance.
Plus, it looks like the heat is going to return. Also, some thunderstorms. We're going to check that out coming up.
Prearrange your cremation.
It definitely turned out to be a nice Thursday for us today. Temps upper 70s, lower 80s, depending on where you live. We did have a lot of clouds earlier in the day after the very thick fog during the morning hours burnt off. It actually turned out to be a great afternoon. It wasn't very windy. We had a nice evening, and it looks like, unfortunately, we're going to start to see the heat kicking back in. Nice shot, or time lapse actually, of the Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. All right, let's go ahead, zoom in, look at our temps today. Upper 70s, Missouri and Arkansas. Once you get into Oklahoma and southeastern Kansas, 80 to about 83 or 4 degrees. So a little bit warmer in our western counties for us today. And we've dropped off very comfortable at 62 in Nevada, at 66 in Cassville. We have Grove at 65, Pittsburgh much of the same, still 70 in Neodesha, but I think most of us will bottom out lower 60s later on tonight. We are seeing southerly winds starting to pick up just a bit, and these will increase as we go through the next couple days, and that's going to help our temperatures go right back to summer for about 3 days. 65 right now, southerly winds are at 5, humidity kind of high at 81%. There could still be a little bit of patchy fog in some of the low-lying areas, just nothing like what we saw during the morning hours today. Nothing going on here. The storm system that gave us the clouds and a few random showers over the next couple days spinning away from us up across parts of Illinois. You can see the little circulation. Out to the west, this is a little ridge of high pressure. This is our weather over the next couple days. Nice, but hot. And then right behind it are the beginnings of our next storm system, which will start to affect us late in the day on Sunday. But until then, we should stay dry. Partly cloudy skies tonight. Southerly winds pick up just a little bit for us tomorrow. Mid-80s by noon. I think most of us are going to top out near 90 during the afternoon. So here's your forecast. We'll start at 62, 85 by noon, afternoon high of 90 degrees. South winds 5 to 15, a little gusty during the afternoon hours. Tomorrow night, we'll drop back, not as cool as what we have been, lower 70s, so kind of warm. And then on Saturday, we heat up again, all the way up to about 90 or 91 degrees. So it's going to be hot, but it's going to be dry. As we go into Saturday evening, still much of the same. We drop back into the 70s, and then we do it again. On Sunday, we go back into the upper 80s for highs. So the next 3 days, I would classify as hot. Look at Sunday evening. Cold front out across central Kansas. A line of thunderstorms will develop northeastern parts of Oklahoma and kind of drive through. The better severe threat is to our south, but I do think these are going to be strong and possibly severe as they work in Sunday night. We'll have leftover showers on Monday morning. Monday afternoon looks good, and then we do it again on Tuesday. Warm front lifts in, scattered showers and thunderstorms. Some of those could be strong to severe. So we have 2 severe shots on, well, early next week, so something we want to watch closely. But we have a couple 3 days that are going to be dry. 90 tomorrow, 91 Saturday, 88 on Sunday. And then our temperatures get back to where we should be for this time of the year for most of next week.
So I guess some positive here is that, when it's hot, it won't be too humid, right?
That's true. Yeah, we're not going to have the humidity we had, a month or two ago.
Yeah, thank goodness. All right, Doug, thank you. Hey, folks in Joplin are going to have the chance to learn some of the city's history. The Dream Theater Company is hosting historic ghost tours. The company says the tours feature interactive and theatrical exhibits about the history and true crime of the area.
The goal for historic ghost tours is to increase the interest in preservation in our local history, and so we find that by doing that, we can kind of lean in on the things they wouldn't teach you about in history school, but are the more macabre and interesting things to kind of get a new market interested in our community.
Tours are going to be every Friday and Saturday for the next few weeks, as well as October 21st for Third Thursday. Carthage Water and Electric Plant continues its Public Power Week celebrations, this time with a Glow Golf event. Public Power Week is a chance for utility companies to better engage with their communities. Some fun stuff going on. The plant hosted the 4-hole Glow Golf event at the Carthage Golf Course. There were also some food trucks, games, and giveaways. Coming up in sports, some Thursday night high school football action between Cherryville and Baxter Springs. And it's senior night for Joplin High School softball. Jacob Leonard has that and more next.
The Pittsburgh State Gorillas have won 3 games in a row to get to 4-1 on the season. Now, this Saturday, they got their toughest test of the season, hitting the road to face rival Northwest Missouri State. Now, the Bearcats are still unbeaten, 4-0 heading into Saturday's game, and they're ranked number 2 in the nation in this week's coaches poll. Now, the Gorillas head into the weekend on a 3-game winning streak. Their last 2 wins have been tight ones. They won by 2 over Emporia State and by 4 against Missouri Southern. Now, it hasn't always been pretty, but finding ways to win, even when things aren't going smoothly, kind of what you got to do in this league.
Good teams find ways to win, and there's all different ways to do that. And was proud of how our team, handled some of that adversity last week and how we hung in there even when we weren't playing our best football, and found a way to make some plays at the end to win the ball game.
I think a lot of teams can take pride in something like that, just to know, like, if you don't have your best stuff one day, that at the end you're going to have the guys that want to make that play and can really come out and do that.
We have some Thursday night high school football this evening in southeast Kansas. The Baxter Springs Lions host the Cherryville Chargers in week 3 of district play. And both teams 0-2 in the district. The Lions aim to pick up their first win of the year. Cherryville leads early here on the punt return. That's Briggs Atkinson back there. After he drops it, he scoops it up, brings it back across the field. Be patient. Takes a little bit. Just a foot race, breaks one more tackle and into the end zone. Chargers push the lead to 14. On the other side, Baxter Springs gets tricky later in the first. Handoff to Garrett Paxson. Comes up throwing, finds Jacob Grant wide open. Lions get deep in Cherryville territory. That drive lasts into the second quarter. Baxter going for 4th and 18 from the 22. But the ball gets loose. Connor Wickham jumps on it for Cherryville. They would score again after that. Chargers get their first district win tonight, 42-6. The Kansas City Chiefs are 2-2 in their first 4 games of the season. This week, they'll try for back-to-back wins for the first time this year, hosting the Buffalo Bills on Sunday night. Now, we've all watched the games, right? The Chiefs' defense hasn't been that great. They're second worst in the league in both yards and points allowed per game. It'll be another tough test on Sunday, facing a Bills team that scored at least 40 and racked up more than 450 total yards in each of the last 2 weeks.
To think that we could just go out there and play fast, throw a bunch of fastballs and just let loose a little bit. Because this offense, if you're thinking too much, they create other different type of run schemes. They create different concepts. So we just I think we got to be brilliant at the basics, stick to fundamentals, and play fast football.
Tonight is senior night for the Joplin High School softball team. The Eagles welcome in the Waynesville Tigers in their final regular season game of the year. Joplin been pretty good the last 2 weeks, winning 4 of 5 coming into the night. Off to a good start today. Jaden Panko gets the Eagles rolling with a double. Bailey Ledford scores. Maria Loom comes sliding in. The next inning, Liz Snyder going the same way. 2 more come in on that for the Eagles. push the lead to 5-0. Now Panko adds another RBI here. Eagles liking that spot. Loom comes across. The bats stay hot. Abigail Lowry. Chopper stays fair. Izzy Eust gets waved home. Makes it in plenty of time. Joplin finishes the job in 5, shutting out Waynesville in their season finale 12-0.
We had a 3 up, 3 down, and then we come up, and I think we put up 3 in the first inning right there, and we scored every inning. And again, when you're playing good teams, that's what you got to do. You got to keep tacking on every single inning, and that's what we did there today. We've won 2 extra inning games, Monday and Tuesday, and then to come out here and do it this fashion too. We're playing really well right now, and it's fun.
That's it for sports. We're back with more news after this.
Come to Frontenac's Tasty Star deal.
Take time now to honor a local veteran, Yeoman 3rd Class Keith DeWitt. The Republic, Missouri native served in the U.S. Navy, and we are proud to thank and salute Yeoman 3rd Class Keith DeWitt. He's tonight's 4-state hero. Take a final look at tonight's KOAM News Now Instant Poll question. Will the new tax rule concerning online sales affect whether you sell products online? 75% of you say yeah, it will. Well, 25% of you say nope. This poll is now closed. Thanks everyone for participating. All right, tag, you're it. Tomorrow is National Touch Tag Day, celebrating the playground game we all know and love. Best way to celebrate by getting outside, running around, tagging someone, whether you're young or young at heart. Classic game is a great way to keep physically active and to see if you can be the last one standing. So tag us on social media and use the hashtag American Touch Tag Day to join in on the fun. And I didn't think of this until now, but you know what? It's going to be good weather to play outside tomorrow, too.
It's going to be a little hot.
It's going to, so drink that water, right?
Yeah. Temperatures pushing 90 tomorrow afternoon, 91 on Saturday, 88 Sunday, some thunderstorms Sunday night.
Final Sports Note, Jacob.
Huge high school football game tomorrow night. Undefeated Joplin hosts undefeated Carthage. Be with us right back here tomorrow night for highlights from that one.
It's going to be a good game. All right. Thanks so much for watching. See you tomorrow. Have a great night.